AudioBooksTube is glad to produce, publish, and offer. Stay calm, critical thinking in difficult situations. By Sage D. Esotreasure. In the whirlwind of life's challenges, staying calm and making smart decisions can often feel like a daunting task. That's why learning to think critically and maintain composure under pressure is invaluable. The audiobook Stay Calm, Think Smart, The Art of Critical Thinking in Difficult Situations offers a pathway to mastering these essential skills. Whether you're aiming to make better decisions, solve complex problems, or navigate high-pressure situations, this resource can help you unlock your potential for success, both personally and professionally. Before diving deeper, the author invites you to download a free bundle, which includes the ebook version of the audiobook and a chapter-by-chapter executive summary, highlighting key takeaways. Engaging with multiple formats, audio, text, and summaries, can enhance learning and retention, giving you a more comprehensive understanding of the material. To get the most out of this experience, claim your free bundle now, as it won't be available for long. In today's rapidly changing world, where complexity and uncertainty are constant, the ability to stay calm and think critically is more important than ever. Imagine yourself in a situation at work or during a personal crisis. The stakes are high, and the pressure is building. Wouldn't it be empowering to approach that scenario with unwavering clarity and confidence? This isn't just a dream, it's a skill that can be cultivated through deliberate practice. Welcome to a journey where you learn the art of staying calm and making smart decisions. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain, where the peak represents your goal, mastering calm, critical thinking. Though the path to the top may seem steep, every step forward brings new insights and abilities that can transform the way you handle challenges in life. This book offers practical tools that blend mindfulness techniques with critical thinking strategies. It's not just about staying calm for the sake of relaxation, it's about creating the mental conditions necessary for sharp, effective decision-making. Imagine your mind as a precision instrument. When stress, anxiety, or emotional turmoil cloud your thinking, your judgment is compromised. But by cultivating calmness, you clear away this mental fog, allowing your critical thinking skills to flourish. You'll be able to view situations with crystal clarity, make informed choices, and tackle even the most complex challenges with confidence. As you move through the content, you'll find the journey of mastering these skills to be both challenging and rewarding. The first chapter sets the foundation for this transformation. You'll explore what you can expect to achieve through this practice and the long-term benefits it offers. So, what can you expect? By the end of this audiobook, you'll have a solid understanding of both calmness and critical thinking. You'll learn to recognize stress and emotional reactivity in yourself, developing simple techniques to regain composure in the heat of the moment. This might mean taking a few deep breaths before responding to a stressful email or pausing to reflect on multiple perspectives when faced with a complicated problem. In addition to managing stress, you'll begin to integrate calmness into your decision-making processes. This doesn't mean becoming detached or unemotional. Rather, it's about creating mental space where you can assess your thoughts and feelings objectively. You'll gain insight into how your emotional state influences your thinking and develop strategies to maintain balance, even when the stakes are high. As you practice and refine these skills, you'll notice significant improvements in clarity and confidence. What once seemed like overwhelming problems will now feel like manageable challenges to be carefully analyzed and resolved. Over time, you'll experience the ripple effects of this growth, both in your personal and professional life. Workplace conflicts, complex negotiations, and everyday stress will no longer seem insurmountable. Instead, you'll handle them with poise and intelligence. Mastering the art of staying calm and thinking critically can bring about profound personal and professional growth. As you consistently make better decisions and handle challenges more effectively, you'll likely see improvements in your career, relationships, and overall satisfaction. The skills you develop can open doors to new opportunities you may not have previously considered. Now, how do you begin this journey? The process involves two key elements: understanding the principles of critical thinking and learning mindfulness techniques for staying calm. Critical thinking is more than just applying logic. It's a comprehensive approach to analyzing information, questioning assumptions, and making well-informed decisions. You'll learn to recognize cognitive biases, those subtle thought patterns that can distort your judgment, and adopt strategies for evaluating evidence objectively. Some of the tools you'll explore include root cause analysis, which helps you dig deeper into problems to uncover their underlying causes, and decision matrices, which can assist in weighing multiple options in complex situations. These strategies enable you to break down seemingly insurmountable problems into manageable parts, allowing for more thoughtful and effective solutions. Equally important is the cultivation of calmness through mindfulness. Mindfulness doesn't require you to become a meditation expert. Instead, it involves practical techniques you can apply in everyday situations to manage your emotional and mental state. Whether it's a simple breathing exercise or a body scan technique, these methods can help you center yourself quickly, even in moments of high stress. The steps in this process are carefully designed to build upon one another, creating a synergistic effect that enhances your overall abilities. By establishing a foundation of calmness, you make room for more effective critical thinking. At the same time, as your critical thinking improves, you'll find it easier to maintain your composure in tough situations. It's a positive feedback loop, one that fuels your personal growth over time. This synergy between calmness and critical thinking sets this approach apart from other self-improvement methods. It's not just about relaxing or thinking more logically. It's about integrating these skills into your daily life to become a more effective, resilient, and confident individual. The true power of these combined skills will unfold as you practice them consistently, helping you face life's challenges with grace and intelligence. By the end of this journey, you'll have developed a robust mental toolkit that empowers you to remain calm under pressure and make smart decisions, even in the most difficult circumstances. These skills will not only transform how you approach problems but will also unlock new levels of personal and professional success. Life's complexity can make it feel like you're constantly facing a storm. The pressures of work, personal challenges, and a fast-paced world demand more than just surface-level solutions. They require a deeper skill set that can help you thrive. The book Stay Calm, Think Smart: The Art of Critical Thinking in Difficult Situations promises to equip you with these essential skills. Whether you're negotiating in high-stakes business situations, handling a personal crisis, or simply navigating the growing complexity of modern life, the ability to think critically while maintaining emotional composure will serve you well. By focusing on critical thinking and emotional stability, this book lays the foundation for handling life's greatest challenges with grace and clarity. It's not enough to be reactive, We need to develop an active and mindful approach to managing stress and decision-making. Before moving further, the author provides an opportunity to download a free bundle that includes both the ebook and an executive summary of each chapter. This helps reinforce your learning through multiple formats, increasing the chances of retaining the material and applying it in your daily life. Imagine facing a situation where you need to make an important decision under pressure. Maybe it's a significant business deal, or perhaps it's a more personal challenge. The ability to stay calm and think clearly can be the difference between success and failure. This is not just a dream but a reality that can be cultivated. Through deliberate effort, critical thinking and emotional stability can be developed over time. This book acts as your guide, leading you on a journey that combines mindfulness techniques with critical thinking strategies. Consider the scenario: you're standing in the eye of a storm. The chaos surrounds you, yet you remain calm, focused, and composed. This is the essence of what the book teaches: the ability to maintain clarity and calm even amidst chaos. As we embark on this journey, it's essential to recognize that the calm mindset is more than just feeling relaxed or unaffected. It's a skill that allows you to remain emotionally stable and mentally sharp when faced with high-pressure situations. Emotional stability is vital for effective critical thinking because when you're overwhelmed by stress, your capacity to think critically diminishes. This calmness doesn't happen by accident; it's a skill that can be learned and honed. The path to emotional stability begins with mindfulness, the practice of staying present and fully aware of your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Practicing mindfulness regularly is like training a muscle. Over time, you'll notice that you're less reactive to stressful situations. Instead of immediately jumping to conclusions or becoming overwhelmed, you'll find yourself pausing, taking a breath, and approaching the problem with a clearer, more focused mind. One powerful mindfulness technique is grounding. In stressful situations, your thoughts can spiral out of control, leading to anxiety and panic. Grounding techniques bring your mind back to the present moment, helping you focus on the here and now. A popular grounding exercise is the 5-4-3-2-1 method, where you identify 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This sensory awareness helps you regain control and think more clearly. Another useful grounding technique involves focusing on your breath. Slow, deep breathing can calm your mind and body, providing you with a sense of stability. This method is discreet and can be used in almost any situation, making it a versatile tool for calming your nerves and regaining focus. These exercises are practical ways to maintain a calm mindset in high-pressure situations. Developing this kind of emotional resilience doesn't happen overnight, but with regular practice, the benefits are significant. One of the most effective ways to cultivate calmness is through mindfulness meditation. You don't need to spend hours doing it; even just 5 minutes a day can make a big difference over time. To begin, find a quiet place, sit comfortably, and focus on your breath. As you breathe, allow your thoughts to pass without judgment, bringing your attention back to your breathing whenever your mind begins to wander. This simple practice trains your mind to stay present, helping you remain calm and focused when life's storms hit. However, mindfulness is just one part of the equation. The other key element is critical thinking. Critical thinking is more than just logical reasoning; it involves analyzing information, questioning assumptions, and making well-informed decisions. When we face challenges, we're often influenced by cognitive biases, subconscious tendencies that distort our thinking. For example, confirmation bias might lead us to favor information that supports our preconceived beliefs, while the availability heuristic can cause us to overestimate the likelihood of events based on recent experiences. Learning to identify and counteract these biases is crucial for making better decisions. One way to enhance critical thinking is by using structured techniques like root cause analysis or decision matrices. Root cause analysis helps you uncover the underlying causes of a problem, rather than just addressing the symptoms. By continually asking why questions, you can get to the heart of an issue and find solutions that address its root. Decision matrices, on the other hand, provide a methodical way to weigh your options when faced with multiple choices. By assigning values to different factors, you can evaluate your options more objectively, helping you make more informed decisions. By combining mindfulness and critical thinking, you create a powerful feedback loop. The calmness you cultivate through mindfulness creates the mental space for clearer, more focused thinking. In turn, as your critical thinking improves, it becomes easier to stay calm under pressure, as you're better equipped to analyze and resolve stressful situations. This synergy between calmness and critical thinking is what sets this approach apart from others. It's not just about thinking more clearly or feeling more relaxed, it's about integrating these skills to become a more effective and resilient individual. Incorporating these techniques into your daily life can lead to significant personal and professional growth. You'll begin to notice improvements not only in your decision-making abilities but also in how you handle stress and conflict. Whether it's navigating a tough negotiation at work or managing a personal challenge, these skills will provide you with the tools to face any situation with confidence. The journey towards mastering calm, critical thinking may not always be easy, but the rewards are immeasurable. With each step you take, you'll build upon your mental toolkit, gaining new insights and tools that will serve you in all areas of life. The path is challenging but filled with opportunities for growth and discovery. As you reflect on the journey ahead, remember that the first step is often the hardest. By committing to the process and practicing regularly, you're already on your way to becoming a master of calm critical thinking. Challenges will arise, but with the tools and techniques you'll learn, you'll be able to face them with confidence and clarity. Navigating through life's challenges requires more than just grit. It calls for a level of mental clarity and emotional control that can be developed through mindful practice. Life's pressures can easily overwhelm, leaving many to struggle with stress, impulsive decisions, and emotional reactions. However, these difficulties can be mitigated by cultivating a calm mindset and sharpening critical thinking skills. Let's explore how you can use specific mental exercises, mindfulness, and structured thinking to transform stress into clarity and chaos into focus. Imagine that you're in a moment of high stress, your heart races, your mind feels scattered, and the situation seems unmanageable. This experience is common in both personal and professional contexts, but it doesn't have to be debilitating. By learning to harness the power of mindfulness, you can bring your emotions into check, enabling you to think clearly even under immense pressure. One of the most fundamental practices to help achieve this is meditation. It trains your mind to stay grounded, regardless of the external chaos. Meditation focuses on attention control, which involves continuously bringing your wandering mind back to a focal point, often your breath. This simple act of refocusing helps you develop a greater awareness of your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to manage them more effectively. A particularly helpful technique within meditation is mindful breathing. A recommended exercise is the 4-7-8 method. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold the breath for 7, and exhale through your mouth for 8. Repeating this cycle not only calms your nervous system but also creates a sense of control and relaxation. As you develop this practice, it can become an automatic response to stress, offering you a tool to find calm whenever needed. Incorporating these breathing exercises into your daily routine provides immediate relief when stress hits. As you practice these techniques over time, you'll notice that situations that once would have triggered anxiety now seem more manageable. The transformation might be gradual, but the shift in your ability to remain calm will be profound. This sense of calm not only enhances your mental clarity but also sharpens your decision-making capabilities. With a calmer mindset, you'll find that your focus and problem-solving abilities improve. The mental fog that often accompanies stress begins to clear, allowing you to approach challenges with logic rather than emotion. In critical moments, this clarity makes all the difference between reacting impulsively and making well-thought-out decisions. Mastering a calm mindset is about more than just feeling good or relaxed, it's about emotional regulation. Emotional regulation doesn't mean you'll never feel anxious or frustrated. Instead, it means that when these feelings arise, you have the tools to manage them without being controlled by them. As your emotional resilience grows, you'll find that even the most challenging circumstances no longer shake you as they once did. Of course, maintaining a calm mindset isn't always easy. Life is full of distractions and emotional triggers. It's natural to fall off track, especially when daily responsibilities pile up and mindfulness practices take a back seat. If you find yourself struggling to keep up with meditation or breathing exercises, remember that consistency is key. Even setting aside just a few minutes a day can be enough to start experiencing the benefits. You may also encounter situations or people that test your emotional resilience, pushing your buttons in ways that make it difficult to stay composed. In those moments, grounding techniques can be your best friend. Reconnect with your senses or take a few deep breaths to regain your focus. Simple grounding exercises like the 5-4-3-2-1 method, identifying 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste, are easy to implement and can instantly calm your mind. As you continue on this journey of self-mastery, it's important to celebrate your victories, no matter how small. Each time you successfully manage your emotions or approach a stressful situation with clarity, you're strengthening your calm mindset. Over time, these small wins will accumulate, significantly enhancing your overall emotional stability and decision-making abilities. Once you've established a calm mindset, the next step is to apply these principles to enhance your critical thinking. Critical thinking is crucial because it allows you to analyze situations from multiple perspectives, identify biases, and make informed decisions, especially when under pressure. By combining calmness with critical thinking, you create a powerful toolkit for navigating life's complexities. Critical thinking can be likened to navigating an uncharted territory filled with ideas, arguments, and information, some true, some false, and others misleading. Your goal is to sift through this information and make sound decisions based on logic rather than impulse. In today's world, where we're constantly bombarded with information from numerous sources, having a strong critical thinking foundation is more essential than ever. At its core, critical thinking is about curiosity and skepticism. It involves questioning everything, your own assumptions, the information you're presented with, and the arguments you encounter. Think about a belief you hold strongly. Have you ever paused to question why you believe it? What evidence supports it? Are there alternative perspectives you haven't considered? This process of self-questioning is essential for developing a critical mindset. The practice of critical thinking doesn't just stop at questioning your own beliefs, it extends to questioning the world around you. Whenever you encounter a new claim, ask yourself, what's the evidence behind this claim? Who is presenting it? What might their motivations be? By approaching information with skepticism and asking these questions, you begin to develop a sharper sense of discernment. Another important aspect of critical thinking is differentiating between facts and opinions. In our information-rich world, it's easy to be swayed by emotional or persuasive arguments that lack factual grounding. A critical thinker learns to separate emotion from logic, focusing on what can be proven rather than what merely feels true. As you refine your critical thinking skills, you'll also become better at identifying cognitive biases, both in yourself and others. Biases like confirmation bias, where we favor information that supports our pre-existing beliefs, can distort our judgment. By recognizing these biases, you can challenge them, making your decisions more objective and well-informed. To improve your critical thinking, it's helpful to use structured techniques like decision matrices or root cause analysis. A decision matrix allows you to weigh different factors methodically when faced with multiple choices, ensuring that your decision is based on logic rather than impulse. Root cause analysis, on the other hand, digs deeper into problems to identify their underlying causes, leading to more effective long-term solutions. Ultimately, the combination of a calm mindset and strong critical thinking skills creates a feedback loop. Your calmness allows you to think more clearly, and better critical thinking helps you remain calm under pressure. This cycle reinforces itself over time, making you more resilient, focused, and capable of handling whatever life throws at you. The journey toward mastering these skills is ongoing, but every step you take brings you closer to a state of emotional balance and mental clarity. With each challenge you face and overcome, you grow stronger. As you continue to practice mindfulness and refine your critical thinking abilities, you'll find yourself better equipped to handle stress, make sound decisions, and approach life's uncertainties with confidence. Life offers a blend of both facts and opinions, yet in our fast-paced, information-rich world, distinguishing between the two is vital for clear thinking. A fact is something verifiable, objective, and concrete, like the Earth orbits the Sun. In contrast, an opinion is a subjective judgment, such as summer is the best season, which cannot be proven definitively. Being able to make this distinction is the foundation of sound decision-making and logical reasoning. Without it, we risk making choices based on emotions or false assumptions, which can have significant consequences. Logical reasoning allows us to take facts and ideas and form valid conclusions. It involves analyzing the structure of arguments, recognizing errors in reasoning, and ensuring our thought processes are grounded in evidence. Take deductive reasoning, for example. It works by drawing specific conclusions based on general premises that are accepted as true. In contrast, inductive reasoning involves making broader generalizations from specific observations. Understanding these methods and their limitations is essential for assessing the validity of arguments and constructing sound judgments. Recognizing logical fallacies is another crucial skill in critical thinking. Logical fallacies are errors in reasoning that weaken arguments, and they come in many forms. One common fallacy is the ad hominem attack, where the focus shifts from the argument itself to attacking the person making the argument. Another is the false dichotomy, which presents only two options when there are, in fact, more possibilities. These fallacies are prevalent in public discourse, especially in politics and media, where persuasive techniques often trump logical rigor. By being aware of these pitfalls, you can more effectively evaluate arguments and avoid being misled. To cultivate critical thinking skills, it's helpful to engage in exercises that challenge your reasoning. One practical activity is analyzing news articles. By selecting an article on a controversial topic, you can break it down and ask key questions. What are the facts? What opinions are being expressed? Are there any logical fallacies present? What information might be missing? This kind of analysis helps develop the ability to distinguish between fact and opinion while identifying potential biases. Games and puzzles also provide a fun way to hone your critical thinking abilities. Sudoku, chess, and logic grid puzzles all require systematic thinking, logical deduction, and the consideration of multiple possibilities before arriving at a solution. These activities engage the brain in ways that are directly transferable to real-life problem-solving, helping to refine your analytical skills in a relaxed and enjoyable manner. As you develop these skills, you'll begin to notice significant improvements in how you approach complex problems. Your ability to break down issues, evaluate evidence, and arrive at logical conclusions will sharpen. Over time, you may also become more aware of your own biases, which are often invisible to us. Everyone has blind spots, and recognizing them can be uncomfortable. Yet, it's essential for growth. By deliberately seeking out diverse perspectives and challenging your own assumptions, you broaden your understanding and reduce the influence of these biases on your thinking. As you continue to practice, the ultimate outcome for those who dedicate themselves to developing critical thinking skills is mastery. Mastery in this context doesn't mean that you'll never make mistakes. Everyone makes errors in judgment. Instead, it means you will possess a well-honed set of tools to navigate complex intellectual and emotional landscapes. These tools include logical reasoning, the ability to recognize bias, and the capacity to make sound judgments based on evidence rather than emotion or assumption. Of course, the journey to becoming a master thinker isn't always straightforward. You'll encounter obstacles, especially when trying to identify your own biases. These blind spots can be difficult to overcome, and they often require deliberate effort and self-reflection. One way to begin is by exposing yourself to viewpoints that differ from your own. This broadens your perspective and highlights areas where you may have previously held unchallenged assumptions. Another challenge you may face is difficulty with complex reasoning, especially when the topic is unfamiliar or emotionally charged. In such cases, using structured frameworks to analyze arguments can be incredibly helpful. Argument mapping, for instance, is a technique where you visually break down the components of an argument to understand its structure. This can help clarify complex issues and reveal weaknesses or gaps in reasoning. Remember, critical thinking is a lifelong practice. Each time you question an assumption, evaluate an argument, or come to a logical conclusion, you're strengthening these valuable skills. And with each improvement, you're better equipped to navigate life's complexities, making you more resilient, adaptable, and informed in your decision-making. Now, let's transition to another important element that often complicates our ability to think clearly: emotions. Emotions can exert a powerful influence on our thought processes, often in ways we don't even realize. Consider a situation where your heart races, your palms sweat, and your mind seems clouded with overwhelming feelings. Perhaps you're anxious about a significant decision. In moments like these, logic can feel distant, and we may act impulsively, driven more by our emotions than by sound reasoning. These situations are triggered by emotional responses that can take over our decision-making processes. Emotional triggers are like invisible strings pulling us in directions we might not consciously choose. If left unchecked, they can lead to impulsive decisions that we later regret. But by becoming aware of these triggers, we can learn to recognize when our emotions are influencing our thoughts and actions. This awareness gives us the power to pause, reflect, and regain control over our decisions. Emotional awareness is not about suppressing your feelings. Instead, it's about understanding and managing them. When you're faced with high-stakes decisions, your emotions can act like a fog, obscuring the facts and clouding your judgment. But by cultivating emotional awareness, you can cut through that fog, allowing you to make more balanced decisions based on logic and reason rather than emotional impulses. In practice, this means taking a moment to step back and evaluate how you're feeling when confronted with a challenging situation. Are you anxious? Angry? Fearful? Once you've identified the emotion, you can then ask yourself how it's influencing your thoughts. Is it pushing you toward a hasty decision, or is it clouding your ability to think clearly? By asking these questions, you create the space needed to regain your logical footing. Breathing exercises, mindfulness, and grounding techniques can be incredibly helpful in these moments. For example, taking deep breaths can calm your nervous system, reducing the intensity of your emotional reaction. Grounding exercises, such as focusing on the physical sensations around you, can bring you back to the present moment and help clear your mind of emotional distractions. By combining emotional awareness with critical thinking, you can navigate even the most challenging situations with clarity and confidence. Whether you're dealing with personal conflicts, making important decisions at work, or simply trying to understand the world around you, these skills will serve as a foundation for thoughtful and balanced decision-making. In our fast-paced lives, emotions often take the driver's seat, influencing how we think and make decisions. Sometimes, this can happen without us even realizing it, leading to reactions that are more impulsive than rational. But by developing emotional awareness, we can start to recognize these moments when emotions threaten to overpower our logic. This awareness allows us to pause, breathe, and create a mental space where clearer thinking can take over. Emotional awareness isn't just a defensive tool to prevent poor decisions. It's like wiping a fogged windshield. When we manage our emotions effectively, we see the road ahead with greater clarity. We can then navigate even the most complicated situations with a balanced mindset. Developing this awareness starts with identifying the emotional influences that shape our thoughts and behaviors. These influences are often subtle, working beneath our conscious awareness like underground currents shaping the landscape of our minds. One of the most significant contributors to emotional reactions are triggers. Emotional triggers are specific situations, words, or memories that provoke a strong emotional response. They act like hot buttons, sending us spiraling into intense feelings when pressed. These triggers vary from person to person, shaped by individual experiences, fears, and vulnerabilities. Some common triggers include feelings of being criticized, fear of failure, feeling overwhelmed, or perceived threats to one's relationships or status. Recognizing these triggers is the first step in managing them. This requires a level of self-awareness that many of us don't practice daily. It involves paying close attention to how we feel in certain situations and being honest about our vulnerabilities. By developing a mindfulness practice, we can begin to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. This allows us to recognize emotional responses as they arise. It's like becoming a detective of our own inner world, noticing the subtle shifts in our emotional landscape. Once we recognize our emotional responses, the next challenge is managing them. Emotional management doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring emotions, but rather acknowledging them without being overwhelmed. A helpful technique for this is emotional distancing. Instead of identifying with your emotions by saying, "I am angry," try saying, "I notice that I'm feeling anger." This small change in language helps create a mental gap between you and the emotion, allowing you to observe it as a temporary state rather than an essential part of who you are. Another powerful tool is reframing. Reframing involves looking at a situation from different perspectives, changing its emotional impact. For example, instead of seeing a challenging task as something anxiety-inducing, you might reframe it as an opportunity for growth. This change in perspective can drastically reduce the emotional charge of a situation, allowing for more objective, clear-headed thinking. Just like any skill, managing emotional triggers requires practice. One effective way to build this skill is by journaling. When you write about what triggered you, how you felt, and how you reacted, you start to identify patterns in your emotional responses. Over time, this practice can lead to greater self-awareness and emotional control. Additionally, role-playing emotionally charged scenarios in a safe environment can help prepare you for real-life challenges. By simulating these situations, you practice recognizing your emotional responses and managing them before they take over. The benefits of developing emotional awareness and management skills are significant. At a basic level, you'll become more attuned to your emotions, recognizing when they are influencing your thoughts or actions. With continued practice, you may find that you're able to regulate your emotional responses more effectively, staying calm and clear-headed even in difficult situations. You might also notice that you're less likely to be thrown off balance by unexpected events or tense interactions. For those who dedicate themselves to this practice, the ultimate outcome is emotional detachment in decision-making. This doesn't mean becoming cold or unfeeling. Rather, it means experiencing your emotions fully while maintaining the ability to think and act rationally. It's a powerful state where emotional depth and logical clarity coexist, allowing you to make sound decisions even in the face of strong feelings. However, the path to mastering emotional awareness and regulation is not without its challenges. One common issue is difficulty recognizing emotional triggers. Emotional responses can be so fast and automatic that we might not even realize we've been triggered until after we've reacted. If this sounds familiar, try keeping a detailed emotional log. Record what you felt, the situations that led to the emotion, any physical sensations you experienced, and your subsequent thoughts and actions. Over time, this log will help you identify patterns and recognize triggers more easily. Another challenge is managing emotions once they've been triggered. Even when you recognize that you're having an emotional response, shifting out of that state can be difficult. When this happens, returning to the basics is essential. Mindfulness and grounding techniques, like deep breathing or focusing on physical sensations, can help bring you back to a more balanced state. As you continue on this journey of developing emotional awareness and management skills, remember that it's a process. It's not something you achieve once and forget about, it's a lifelong practice that you'll refine with each emotional challenge you face. Every time you recognize an emotional trigger and choose a more thoughtful response, you strengthen your ability to navigate life with emotional clarity and logical precision. To conclude, emotional awareness is a transformative tool. By recognizing and managing your emotional responses, you create space for more rational thinking and balanced decision-making. This skill is not only crucial in personal life but also in professional environments and complex social interactions. Learning to balance emotional awareness with critical thinking enriches your decision-making abilities, allowing you to make choices that are informed both by logic and a deeper understanding of your emotional landscape. As you practice these techniques, you'll find yourself better equipped to handle the emotional ups and downs of daily life. And with time, you'll develop a mindset that's both emotionally rich and logically clear, a powerful combination that can help you navigate even the most challenging situations. Picture yourself on the edge of a complex puzzle, the pieces scattered before you, a blend of shapes and colors that make no sense at first glance. Much like life's tricky decisions and dilemmas, the image only becomes clear as you patiently sort through each piece. Each puzzle piece represents a fragment of information, and only by fitting them together can you grasp the full picture. This is the essence of situation analysis, breaking down complex, bewildering challenges into manageable parts until a coherent understanding emerges. Why is situation analysis so vital? It's because, when we face overwhelming problems, whether personal or professional, our initial reaction often mirrors the chaos of the scattered puzzle. We see the problem as one big, tangled mess, and the sheer complexity paralyzes us. This is where situation analysis comes to the rescue. By methodically dissecting the problem, we can identify its smaller, more manageable components. It's not just about seeing the forest for the trees, it's about understanding the roots, the soil, and how every element interacts to form the larger picture. Once we break a problem down, we can approach it with more clarity and confidence. It's empowering to transform a seemingly insurmountable issue into smaller, actionable parts. This method doesn't just help us understand the problem, it gives us control over it. We can weigh our options, predict possible outcomes, and make decisions grounded in logic rather than panic. The first step in mastering situation analysis is learning how to gather relevant information. But this isn't about drowning in a sea of data, it's about filtering through to find what's important. The 5W1H method, who, what, when, where, why, and how, provides a structured way to do this. Each question serves as a lens through which we can examine the problem. Who are the key players involved? What exactly is happening, and when did it start? Where is this unfolding, and why is it happening in the first place? And most crucially, how are the elements of the situation interacting? This framework helps ensure that we've considered every relevant angle, leaving no stone unturned. However, gathering information is only half the battle. The real skill lies in evaluating the evidence. It's about questioning the reliability of your sources, recognizing biases, and identifying gaps in your knowledge. You need a critical eye that distinguishes between hard facts, reasonable assumptions, and pure speculation. Furthermore, context is king. No situation exists in a vacuum. Economic conditions, cultural norms, historical precedents, all these factors can influence how we should interpret the situation. The deeper we go into situation analysis, the more we appreciate the value of logical thinking. Systematic methods, like divide and conquer, can break down even the most convoluted problems into manageable chunks. By addressing smaller parts individually, we can then piece them back together to form a coherent whole. Think of it like assembling a jigsaw puzzle. Each piece might not make sense on its own, but together, they form a clear image. Another powerful tool is the problem tree technique. This involves mapping out the core issue and then identifying its causes and effects. Visualizing the problem in this way allows us to see how different elements are interconnected. It's like drawing a map of the problem, showing paths and connections we might otherwise miss. So, how do we translate theory into practice? One effective exercise is to analyze hypothetical scenarios. Working through fictional, complex situations sharpens our analytical skills without the pressure of real-world consequences. This allows us to experiment with different approaches and learn from our mistakes in a risk-free environment. Creating mind maps is another valuable technique. By visually representing the various elements of a problem and how they connect, we can often spot patterns and relationships that aren't immediately obvious in a traditional, linear analysis. Start with the central issue, and then branch out to related topics, subtopics, and connections. The resulting diagram often reveals pathways to solutions that weren't apparent at first glance. As you continue developing your situation analysis skills, you'll likely notice several key outcomes. First, you'll experience a greater understanding of complex problems. Over time, you'll become more adept at seeing all the different facets of a situation and how they interrelate. With practice, your analytical abilities will sharpen, and you'll approach intricate challenges with confidence, knowing that you have the tools to break them down and tackle them systematically. perhaps even more exciting is the realization that you can start to see connections and patterns that others might miss. This ability to perceive the bigger picture and the subtle threads connecting various elements of a situation gives you a distinct advantage, whether in personal decision-making or professional problem-solving. Those who truly dedicate themselves to mastering situation analysis can expect to achieve a level of expertise that allows them to navigate even the most daunting of situations with ease. This doesn't mean you'll always have all the answers, the world is too complex for that, but it does mean that you'll be equipped with a powerful toolkit for approaching any challenge, no matter how intricate. But the path to mastery isn't without its challenges. One common pitfall is the tendency to overlook key information. In our eagerness to make sense of a problem, we might rush through the analysis and miss crucial details. If this sounds familiar, consider slowing down and taking the time to thoroughly examine each part of the situation. A well-structured approach to information gathering, like the 5W1H method, can help prevent this. Another obstacle is the risk of overcomplicating the analysis. While it's important to be thorough, it's equally important to recognize when you've gathered enough information and can start making decisions. Analysis paralysis, where we get so bogged down in details that we're unable to move forward, is a real risk. Knowing when to stop analyzing and start acting is a skill in itself. In conclusion, situation analysis is a critical tool for making informed, confident decisions in all areas of life. Whether you're facing a personal dilemma or a complex professional challenge, the ability to break down the problem, gather and evaluate information, and see the bigger picture will serve you well. And like any skill, it gets easier with practice. Embrace the process, and over time, you'll find yourself navigating life's complexities with greater clarity and confidence. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to sharpen your skills, deepen your understanding, and ultimately, master the art of situation analysis. Think of life as a vast, untamed landscape filled with challenges that demand navigation, just like a traveler faced with unfamiliar terrain. Sometimes, the obstacles on the path are small pebbles you can easily step over. At other times, they are like towering mountains, overwhelming and formidable. This is where strategic thinking and problem-solving skills become essential tools. Learning how to dissect these obstacles, understand their nature, and come up with practical solutions can transform the way you approach any difficulty. The foundation of effective problem-solving lies in structure. It's tempting to approach each challenge haphazardly, but structured frameworks ensure that every aspect of the situation is accounted for, and no critical detail is missed. One such method is the 5W1H: who, what, when, where, why, how. This simple checklist helps provide clarity when facing complex problems. Who is involved? What is happening? When and where did it occur? Why is it happening, and how is it unfolding? Answering these questions gives you a clearer, broader view of the problem at hand. Even with this structured approach, some problems may still feel overwhelmingly complex. It's easy to get lost in the details, like a traveler bogged down by the weight of too much gear. When this happens, a good technique to fall back on is divide and conquer. This involves breaking the problem into smaller, more manageable parts. Focus on analyzing one piece at a time, then slowly build back up to an understanding of the whole. The process is like organizing a cluttered space. Start with one corner, make sense of it, and then move on to the next until the entire area is clear. Problem solving is a journey, not a final destination. Each time you encounter and break down a complex problem, you're sharpening your analytical tools. The more you practice, the more natural this approach will feel. With time, not only do you get better at finding solutions, but you also become quicker at recognizing patterns, learning from past mistakes, and refining your techniques. Imagine a puzzle. The first few pieces are always tricky, but once you get the hang of it, the process becomes smoother and more intuitive. Every decision we face in life can benefit from strong problem-solving skills, whether it's a personal choice or a complex work-related dilemma. The methods discussed here lay a foundation for you to become a more confident decision-maker. And while we've touched on some introductory techniques, there's always more to explore. As we venture deeper into problem-solving strategies, we'll learn how to not only respond to situations but actively shape them to align with our goals. But before diving into advanced strategies, consider this: what hidden opportunities might lie within the problems you face? Every challenge is like a knot waiting to be untied. The tools you've developed so far are just the beginning. The true adventure lies in applying them to the intricacies of your own life. Now, let's imagine standing at the foot of a mountain, with your goal gleaming at the summit. The path to the top isn't clear, the terrain is rugged, and obstacles are scattered along the way. This scenario mirrors the challenges we face in everyday life. Our objectives may be clear, but the route to achieve them often isn't. Welcome to the realm of problem solving, where difficulties become stepping stones to success, and challenges transform into opportunities for growth. Effective problem solving is not some magical talent that only a few people possess. It is a skill, one that anyone can cultivate through practice and discipline. It's about blending creativity and logic into a structured approach that helps you tackle even the most daunting challenges. At its core, problem solving is about viewing every obstacle not as an insurmountable barrier but as an opportunity for innovation. It's the process of turning what seems impossible into something manageable and, ultimately, achievable. Think back to the last significant challenge you faced. Perhaps it was a project at work that seemed too complex to complete, a personal conflict that felt unsolvable, or a decision with no clear right answer. In those moments, having strong problem-solving skills could have made all the difference. Effective problem-solving provides the clarity to see the path forward. It helps break down complicated issues into manageable steps and offers a roadmap for moving forward. But how do you cultivate these crucial skills? It begins with structured techniques. One method to help uncover the root of any problem is the 5 whys. This technique involves asking why repeatedly to drill down to the underlying cause. For instance, if you're consistently late for work, you might start by asking, "Why am I late?" The answer could be, "Because I oversleep." Then ask, "Why do I oversleep?" The answer might be, "Because I stay up too late." By following this line of questioning, you get to the heart of the issue and can address the real cause, not just the symptoms. Another structured method is the ideal problem-solving model. Identify the problem, define the context, explore possible strategies, act on the best solution, and look back to learn from the experience. This model ensures you consider all aspects of the problem and continually refine your problem-solving abilities based on what you learn. Once you've identified the problem, the next challenge is generating solutions. This is where brainstorming comes in. Brainstorming encourages the free flow of ideas, without judgment, to produce a wide range of potential solutions. It's essential to create a safe environment for brainstorming, where no idea is dismissed too quickly. Initially, focus on quantity over quality. You never know which wild idea might spark a breakthrough. After brainstorming comes the critical stage of evaluating and implementing solutions. This is where you assess each option's effectiveness, feasibility, and potential consequences. The key is finding the right balance between creativity and practicality. Some solutions may be innovative but not feasible, others may be practical but lack creativity. The sweet spot lies in combining these elements to produce a solution that is both innovative and workable. Finally, putting your solution into action requires careful planning. Break down your chosen strategy into actionable steps, assign responsibilities, set deadlines, and establish metrics to measure success. Without this detailed plan, even the best ideas can falter in execution. As we delve deeper into problem solving, we encounter the fascinating balance between creativity and methodical thinking. On the surface, these two modes of thought might seem at odds with one another, but in reality, they are complementary. Creativity helps generate novel solutions and make connections that others might miss. Meanwhile, methodical thinking provides the structure needed to turn those creative ideas into practical solutions. Ultimately, effective problem-solving is about balancing creativity with structure, intuition with logic, and innovation with practicality. It's not just about coming up with great ideas, it's about turning those ideas into real, tangible results. When it comes to generating new ideas and solutions, creativity is crucial, but it's equally important to adopt a methodical approach to refine and evaluate those ideas. By combining innovation with structure, you can develop solutions that are not only fresh and creative but also practical and effective. However, knowing how to apply these techniques in real-world scenarios is the key to true mastery. A great way to put this into practice is by participating in group brainstorming sessions. Focusing on hypothetical problems in a collaborative environment allows you to get feedback from multiple perspectives. This exercise is a chance to practice generating ideas and exploring various solutions in a team setting, offering exposure to diverse approaches. Another helpful method is to create action plans for personal challenges. Take a real problem you're dealing with and apply structured problem-solving techniques. Begin by identifying the root cause of the issue, then brainstorm potential solutions. Evaluate your options carefully, and create a detailed plan to implement your chosen solution. This practical approach makes the process of problem-solving not only theoretical but actionable. As you continue developing your problem-solving skills, you may wonder what benefits you'll reap. On a basic level, you'll notice a significant improvement in your ability to tackle complex issues. You'll get better at breaking down problems, generating creative solutions, and implementing them effectively. With regular practice, you may find that your creativity and innovation increase as well. You'll begin to see problems from multiple angles, exploring possibilities that others might overlook. This ability to approach problems from different perspectives can be a huge advantage, both personally and professionally. It allows you to stand out as a creative problem solver, someone capable of thinking outside the box. For those who are fully committed to honing these skills, the ultimate goal is mastery of structured problem solving. While no one will ever be able to solve every problem in the world, mastery means having the confidence and tools to face any challenge with skill and determination. You'll be equipped with techniques to systematically approach any issue and find viable solutions, regardless of how daunting the problem may seem. The journey toward developing robust problem-solving skills is not without challenges. One common obstacle is difficulty in generating ideas, especially when faced with a particularly tough problem. If your mind goes blank, creative thinking techniques can help stimulate new perspectives. Tools such as mind mapping, random word association, or even role-playing can break the mental block and generate fresh ideas. These strategies encourage out-of-the-box thinking and can reveal new angles you might not have considered. Another common challenge is the difficulty in implementing solutions. Coming up with an innovative idea is one thing, putting it into practice is another. If you're having trouble with execution, focus on creating a detailed action plan. Break down your solution into manageable steps, set clear deadlines, and outline milestones to track progress. Stay flexible, don't be afraid to adjust your plan if things aren't going as expected. Execution is just as critical as ideation, and staying organized will help you stay on course. It's important to remember that developing problem-solving skills is an ongoing journey, not a final destination. You will continue to refine these skills throughout your life. Each problem you solve and every challenge you overcome strengthens your problem-solving muscle. Think of it as an evolving practice, where each solution you find is a step forward in your personal and professional growth. As we bring this exploration of problem-solving to a close, consider the transformative power of this skill. By learning to systematically and creatively approach challenges, you're equipping yourself with a tool that will serve you in all aspects of life. Whether it's making decisions for personal development or tackling professional obstacles, problem-solving is the key to unlocking opportunities and finding success. However, the real test of these skills often comes when the pressure is on, and the stakes are high. Now, imagine yourself in a high-pressure situation, a split-second decision where the outcome holds serious consequences. This could be something like piloting a plane with alarms blaring, instruments flashing, and lives depending on your next move. While this example might seem extreme, it highlights the importance of decision-making under pressure. In today's fast-paced world, the ability to make smart choices in stressful situations is an increasingly valuable skill. But what sets apart those who excel under pressure from those who crumble? Decision-making under stress is not about having unshakable nerves or superhuman abilities. Instead, it's about developing mental frameworks and strategies that allow you to stay calm, think clearly, and act decisively, even when time is short and the stakes are high. The ability to make quick, smart decisions is especially critical when you find yourself in situations that demand immediate action. Think back to a time when you had to make a crucial decision under pressure. Maybe it was a career-defining moment, a dangerous situation, or an opportunity that required swift action. In those moments, the ability to remain level-headed and make the right choice can mean the difference between success and failure, or even between safety and danger. When we're under pressure, our instinct is often to rush into a decision without fully considering the consequences. This can lead to mistakes we later regret. By learning how to make smart decisions under stress, we can avoid these pitfalls and ensure that our choices align with our values and long-term goals, even in high-pressure situations. Furthermore, mastering decision-making under pressure is essential for timely and effective action. In many cases, the window of opportunity is small, and hesitation can be just as harmful as making the wrong decision. By refining this skill, we prepare ourselves to act quickly when it matters most, seizing opportunities and solving problems efficiently without sacrificing the quality of our decisions. So how can we develop the ability to make fast, smart decisions under pressure? The first step is understanding the balance between speed and thoughtfulness. It's crucial to act quickly without rushing into poor choices. A useful strategy is the 2-minute rule. When faced with a high-stakes decision, give yourself 2 minutes to gather essential information, weigh your options, and make a choice. This time constraint forces you to focus on what truly matters while preventing overthinking or analysis paralysis. Another effective strategy is to use mental models or heuristics. These are simplified frameworks that help guide decision-making in complex situations. By relying on proven models, you can make quicker and more informed decisions, even under pressure. In order to make quick and informed decisions in complex situations, it's essential to understand how to sift through large amounts of information and focus on what really matters. A classic approach to this is the 80-20 rule, which suggests that 80% of outcomes come from just 20% of causes. By concentrating on this critical 20%, you can avoid getting lost in unimportant details and make more informed choices. However, gathering information is just the first step. The real challenge lies in prioritizing that information effectively. In high-pressure situations, we're often bombarded with data, and the ability to distinguish between what's essential and what's not becomes crucial. One method to achieve this is by using the ICE technique, which stands for impact, confidence, and ease. For each piece of information or potential action, quickly evaluate its potential impact, your confidence in that evaluation, and how easy it is to implement. This allows you to focus on high-impact, high-confidence actions that can be executed with minimal effort. While it's important to act quickly, speed should never come at the expense of accuracy. Jumping to conclusions without proper consideration can lead to significant mistakes. One technique to enhance decision-making accuracy under stress is the pre-mortem exercise. Before finalizing a decision, take a moment to imagine that your choice has failed. What went wrong? This quick mental exercise can help you identify potential problems and refine your decision accordingly. Another effective strategy is using if-then planning. By anticipating different scenarios and determining how you'll respond ahead of time, you can make faster, more accurate decisions when those situations actually arise. It's like preparing a mental playbook for high-pressure moments. But how do you put all of these strategies into practice? One effective way is by engaging in timed decision-making drills. Set up hypothetical scenarios with strict time limits and practice making decisions under pressure. Start with longer time frames, then gradually shorten them as you become more comfortable. Another valuable exercise is practicing prioritization. Present yourself with a complex scenario and a list of possible actions or pieces of information. Practice quickly prioritizing them using techniques like the ICE method. These exercises help you develop the mental agility needed for real-world high-pressure situations. As you work to master decision-making under pressure, you may wonder what results you can expect. At a basic level, you'll likely notice an improvement in how quickly you make decisions. With practice, you'll feel more comfortable making choices swiftly without the feeling of being rushed or overwhelmed. Over time, you'll also enhance your accuracy in stressful situations. You'll become skilled at making swift decisions that are not only fast but also well considered and effective. This balance of speed and accuracy is a valuable skill in both personal and professional settings. For those truly dedicated to mastering decision-making under pressure, the ultimate outcome is confidence. This doesn't mean you'll never feel stressed or uncertain; those are natural human responses, but it does mean that you'll have the tools and mental frameworks to navigate even the most difficult situations with confidence and skill. Of course, the path to becoming a strong decision-maker under pressure is not without obstacles. One common issue is the tendency to make rushed decisions that lead to errors. When time is short, it's easy to act without fully considering the consequences. If this is a challenge for you, focus on practicing prioritization techniques. By learning to quickly identify what's most important, you can make faster decisions without sacrificing the thoughtfulness needed for good outcomes. Another challenge you might face is managing the stress that comes with high-pressure situations. Stress can cloud your judgment, making it difficult to think clearly and make sound decisions. If you find yourself overwhelmed by stress, incorporate stress reduction techniques into your decision-making process. Simple practices like deep breathing, mindfulness, or even taking a brief physical break can clear your mind and improve your decision-making capacity. Remember, developing the ability to make smart decisions under pressure is an ongoing journey. It's not something you'll master overnight, but a skill that you'll continue to refine throughout your life. Each high-pressure situation you encounter is an opportunity to strengthen these abilities. The more you practice, the better you'll become at navigating stressful moments with ease and clarity. As we close this exploration of decision-making under pressure, take a moment to reflect on the power of this skill. By honing your ability to make smart, quick decisions in stressful situations, you're equipping yourself with a valuable tool. This skill will serve you in every area of your life, from handling emergencies to seizing opportunities that come and go in a flash. Next, we'll explore how to future-proof your thinking by developing strategies that anticipate challenges, adapt to change, and stand the test of time. But as you wrap up this section, consider this: what hidden strengths might you discover within yourself when the pressure is on and every second counts? The skills you've begun to develop here are just the start. The real challenge comes in applying them to the unpredictable, high-stakes situations that life inevitably brings your way. Now imagine you're in the midst of a chess game. You've just captured your opponent's queen, a move that feels brilliant. But in your excitement, you fail to see that your own king is now exposed. 3 turns later, you're in checkmate, and what seemed like a sure victory has slipped through your fingers. This scenario perfectly illustrates the importance of thinking beyond immediate gains and considering the long game. In a world that often prioritizes quick decisions and instant results, the ability to think ahead and make decisions that last is invaluable. Future-proofing your thinking doesn't mean trying to predict the future with perfect accuracy. Instead, it's about adopting a mindset that prepares you to make decisions today that will benefit you tomorrow, next year, and even decades down the line. Consider the last time you made a decision that seemed right in the moment but led to regret later due to unforeseen consequences. Future-proof thinking helps you avoid such scenarios by encouraging you to think long-term, assess potential risks, and adapt your plans as needed. This skill is particularly crucial when navigating complex situations that demand critical thinking and foresight. In moments of pressure, the ability to think ahead and consider the long-term consequences of decisions often becomes the difference between temporary relief and lasting success. Future-proof thinking is crucial in critical situations, where it's easy to focus on short-term solutions and overlook their long-term implications. This short-sightedness can trap us in a cycle of quick fixes that never address the root of the problem. By honing the ability to think with a long-term perspective, we can make decisions that promote sustainable success and growth rather than just immediate, fleeting solutions. Moreover, future-proof thinking is essential not only in crisis moments but also in our personal and professional development. We live in a rapidly changing world where those who can anticipate trends, adapt to evolving circumstances, and make decisions that have a lasting impact are the ones who thrive. Developing this skill equips us to navigate uncertainty more effectively and take advantage of opportunities that others might miss, providing a significant advantage in an unpredictable world. But how do we develop the skill of future-proof thinking? The journey begins by cultivating long-term thinking habits. At the core of this ability is the alignment of short-term decisions with long-term goals. It's about creating a bridge between the present and the future, ensuring that each decision you make today is leading you towards the person you want to be or the achievements you aspire to have tomorrow. One powerful tool for fostering this mindset is the future self-exercise. Take time to imagine yourself 5, 10, or even 20 years from now. What do you want your life to look like? What kind of person do you hope to become, and what milestones do you want to achieve? By regularly reconnecting with this vision of your future self, you can ground your present decisions in long-term aspirations, making choices that push you toward those larger goals. Another effective strategy is the use of decision trees. When faced with a tough choice, mapping out the potential consequences of each option, both in the short term and over several years, can provide a clear visual representation of where each decision might lead. This process helps you think beyond the immediate impact and consider how your choices will play out over time. It gives you the clarity to make more informed, future-proof decisions. But cultivating long-term thinking is just one part of the equation. The real challenge lies in building sustainable habits that support your long-term objectives. Developing daily routines that reinforce these goals is key to ensuring lasting success. A technique to help build such habits is the tiny habits method. Rather than attempting dramatic changes all at once, focus on small, manageable actions that you can consistently perform. These tiny, incremental changes might seem insignificant at first, but over time, they lead to profound shifts in both your thinking and behavior. As you progress in mastering future-proof thinking, you'll find that it also plays a critical role in personal growth. When you habitually consider the long-term consequences of your choices, you open the door to continual improvement and adaptability. One effective way to foster this ongoing growth is through regular self-reflection. Set aside time weekly or monthly to review your progress towards your long-term goals. Ask yourself, what's working? What needs adjustment? This constant evaluation and recalibration are essential to staying on track and ensuring that your short-term actions remain aligned with your long-term vision. Another powerful tool is scenario planning. Take time to regularly imagine different possible futures and think about how you would navigate them. This mental exercise builds flexibility and adaptability, essential skills for thriving in an uncertain world. By preparing yourself for various possibilities, you become more resilient when unexpected challenges or opportunities arise, able to adjust your plans and still stay focused on your long-term objectives. But how do you take these concepts and put them into practice? One effective exercise is participating in goal-setting workshops. In these workshops, take the time to clearly articulate your long-term goals. Break these goals down into medium-term objectives and then further into short-term, actionable steps. This process creates a roadmap that links your daily decisions to your ultimate aspirations, helping you stay on course and measure your progress as you move forward. Long-term planning exercises are another valuable way to practice future-proof thinking. When facing a significant decision, map out its potential consequences over the next 5 or 10 years. Consider how various scenarios might unfold and which options best align with your long-term vision. This exercise trains you to think beyond immediate results and make choices that have lasting value. As you embark on the journey of mastering future-proof thinking, you may wonder what outcomes to expect. At a fundamental level, you're likely to see improved alignment between your actions and your goals. You'll become more adept at making decisions that consistently move you toward your long-term objectives. Over time, you'll develop enhanced strategic thinking abilities, better anticipating challenges and identifying opportunities that might have gone unnoticed. These skills will position you for success in both personal and professional realms. For those who dedicate themselves to the practice of future-proof thinking, the ultimate outcome is the ability to make robust and adaptable decisions, choices that stand the test of time. This doesn't mean you'll predict the future with certainty, as the world is far too complex for that. Instead, it means you'll have the tools and mental frameworks to make decisions that are flexible, able to weather the changes and uncertainties of life while keeping you aligned with your broader objectives. Of course, the path to developing strong future-proof thinking skills isn't always smooth. You will encounter challenges, and it's important to be prepared for them. One common obstacle is allowing short-term focus to overshadow long-term goals. In the chaos of everyday life, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. If you struggle with this, make it a habit to regularly review your long-term goals. Set reminders or create visual cues to keep these objectives at the forefront of your mind, helping you stay on track even in the midst of daily pressures. Another challenge is adapting to change. Even the best long-term plans can be thrown off course by unexpected events. If you struggle with adapting your plans to new circumstances, practice flexibility by regularly engaging in scenario planning. By imagining and preparing for different possible futures, you'll develop the mental agility needed to adjust when the future doesn't go according to plan. Developing future-proof thinking skills is not a destination but a continuous journey. It's an ability that you'll refine throughout your life. Each decision you make with an eye toward the future, each long-term goal you set and pursue, is an opportunity to strengthen these crucial skills. As you reflect on the importance of future-proof thinking, consider how developing this ability equips you with a tool that can profoundly shape the course of your life. By making decisions today that serve you well tomorrow and beyond, you're ensuring that your actions contribute to lasting success and growth. As we wrap up this exploration of future-proof thinking, it's vital to consider the possibilities that open up when you truly embrace this approach. The skills you've acquired here aren't the conclusion of the journey, but rather the first step toward creating a brighter future than you can currently imagine. The real adventure begins when you start applying these tools in your life, making decisions that shape a future aligned with your goals and dreams. Reflect on how much you've grown. From developing a calm mindset, mastering critical thinking, solving complex problems, to making decisions under pressure, you now possess a powerful toolkit. These skills are not merely theoretical concepts, they are practical strategies that can empower you in every aspect of life. But this isn't the end point. This new chapter in your life is just beginning, where you'll face challenges with confidence, clarity, and a strategic mindset. Let's now delve into how the concepts you've learned will continue to sharpen your critical thinking and calmness in the future. Firstly, consider the empowerment these skills offer. These are not just tools for occasional use, they are foundational abilities that will become part of how you approach life. One of the most immediate benefits is an increase in your confidence when making decisions. Think back to how you approached difficult decisions before, perhaps overwhelmed, unsure of which path to take, or fearful of making the wrong choice. Now, with the techniques you've gained, breaking down complex problems, evaluating evidence, and thinking long-term, you can face decisions with greater assurance. This new confidence doesn't eliminate the uncertainty or anxiety that may accompany difficult decisions. However, you now have a structured approach for working through that uncertainty. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, you can rely on logic and evidence to guide your decision-making process. This approach allows you to make choices grounded in reason rather than impulse or emotion. Beyond the immediate benefits to decision-making, the skills you've developed also contribute to your overall resilience. Life will inevitably throw unexpected challenges your way, but now you are better equipped to face them with a calm, strategic outlook. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by obstacles, you can view them as opportunities to apply your critical thinking skills and grow stronger. Challenges no longer feel like insurmountable barriers but rather puzzles that can be solved with the right approach. One of the most profound ways in which these skills can transform your life is through their impact on relationships. Critical thinking enhances your ability to communicate more effectively and understand others' perspectives, fostering stronger connections with those around you. Think about how the ability to objectively analyze situations and consider multiple viewpoints can improve your communication. Instead of reacting emotionally in disagreements, you can approach conflicts with calm logic, allowing for more productive and meaningful discussions. You become a better listener, evaluating others' arguments fairly while expressing your own views more clearly and persuasively. This balance of empathy and logic can lead to more profound understanding in your relationships. By not only considering what people say but why they say it, their motivations, fears, and aspirations, you gain a nuanced perspective that helps navigate complex interpersonal situations. Combining critical thinking with empathy allows you to address misunderstandings with grace and wisdom, strengthening your relationships over time. As you apply these skills in your everyday life, you will likely find yourself achieving goals that once felt unattainable. What may have seemed like overwhelming, complicated situations can now be managed with clarity and focus. By breaking them down into smaller, manageable parts and analyzing them objectively, you can gain the clarity needed to move forward with confidence, even in the face of challenges. Additionally, you will find that your decision-making becomes more informed, particularly when time is short and the stakes are high. The combination of strategic thinking and long-term perspective equips you to make decisions that are timely and well-considered, opening doors to new opportunities in both your personal and professional life. As you become known as someone who can make sound, reliable decisions under pressure, more doors will open for you, expanding your possibilities for success. Perhaps the most exciting aspect of your journey with critical thinking is that it's just beginning. As you continue to practice the principles from this book, you will find that these skills become more refined and easier to apply. This is the power of mastery. What was once challenging will soon feel intuitive. Imagine a future where maintaining a calm mindset in stressful situations is as natural as breathing. Where analyzing complex problems and making thoughtful decisions feels as effortless as tying your shoes. This level of mastery is within your reach if you continue to practice and refine these skills. The ongoing practice of critical thinking and maintaining a calm approach to life will fuel continuous personal and professional growth. Each time you apply these skills to new challenges, you'll learn something new. Your capacity for handling complexity will grow, your decision-making will become more nuanced, and your ability to thrive in uncertainty will strengthen. As we conclude, take a moment to visualize the future you now have the power to create. Imagine yourself 5 years from now, looking back on this moment. You've consistently applied the skills you've learned, refining them through real-world practice. You're known for your calm and clear-headed approach to even the most challenging situations. Your ability to analyze complex problems and make sound decisions has led to remarkable achievements in both your personal and professional life. You've built stronger relationships through empathetic understanding and clear communication. You've navigated difficult situations with grace and resilience. More importantly, you've experienced a profound internal transformation. You approach life with confidence and a clear sense of purpose, knowing that no matter what challenges arise, you have the tools to overcome them. You've developed a deep trust in your own judgment, balanced with the humility to keep learning and growing. This future is not a distant dream, it's a reality that you are creating, starting now. With the skills and mindset you've gained, you are equipped to face whatever lies ahead, knowing that each challenge is an opportunity for growth, learning, and success. You stand at the beginning of a transformative journey, one that has the power to shift the course of your life. It's a journey grounded in critical thinking, clear decision-making, and the kind of calm that allows you to navigate life's most unexpected twists with grace. As you move forward, it's essential to remember that every decision, no matter how small, can influence your future. Each challenge you encounter offers an opportunity to grow and discover more about yourself. This isn't just a way of thinking, it's a way of life, one that opens doors to new possibilities and deeper understanding. As we reflect on the skills you've honed, it's important to realize that the true adventure begins after you close this chapter. The world is vast and full of both complexity and opportunity. Each day, it presents fresh challenges and puzzles that require sharp minds to solve. Now that you've equipped yourself with the tools of critical thinking and the power of calmness under pressure, you're not just ready to navigate your own path. You're also ready to make a meaningful contribution to the world around you. Still, even with these powerful tools in hand, you might find yourself asking, how do I maintain this composure when life throws its most unexpected and difficult challenges my way? After all, even the most well-prepared among us can struggle when faced with surprises or moments of high pressure. Maintaining calmness isn't just about preparing for what you can see coming, it's about training yourself to stay centered, no matter the situation. The secret to maintaining calm under pressure lies in mastering non-reactivity. It's a skill that takes the power of critical thinking and decision-making to an even higher level. Non-reactivity doesn't mean passivity, it's about choosing when and how to respond, rather than allowing circumstances to dictate your reactions. This skill allows you to pause, evaluate, and choose your response wisely, rather than reacting impulsively to external triggers. Think of non-reactivity as the ultimate complement to the tools you've already mastered. Where critical thinking helps you break down complex problems and make logical decisions, non-reactivity helps you remain steady as you process these problems. In moments of high emotion or intense pressure, it becomes the stabilizing force that allows you to think clearly and act wisely. It's a skill that's particularly valuable in situations where the stakes are high and emotions are running strong. Imagine a situation where you are presented with a major decision under immense time pressure. Without non-reactivity, the tension and stress of the moment might cloud your judgment. You might find yourself rushing through the decision, reacting impulsively, and making a choice that you later regret. But with non-reactivity, you can pause and take a moment to breathe, even amidst the chaos. You can give yourself the mental space needed to evaluate your options clearly and make the decision that's best in the long term. One of the most effective ways to develop non-reactivity is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment without judgment. It teaches you to observe your thoughts and emotions without getting swept away by them. Over time, practicing mindfulness trains your brain to create a pause between a trigger and your reaction to it. That pause is where non-reactivity lives. It's the gap between feeling provoked and choosing how you want to respond. Consider incorporating simple mindfulness practices into your daily routine. You don't need hours of meditation to see results. Start small, maybe by taking 5 minutes each day to sit quietly and focus on your breath. When you find your mind wandering or notice an emotion rising, observe it without judgment and gently bring your attention back to your breathing. This practice, though simple, can make a profound difference in how you respond to stress in your everyday life. Another useful tool in mastering non-reactivity is learning to manage your internal dialogue. The way we talk to ourselves can have a powerful effect on how we react to situations. Often, when we're faced with challenges, our internal dialogue becomes negative, filled with self-doubt or anxiety. If you can learn to shift that internal conversation to one that is more constructive and supportive, you'll find it easier to remain calm when difficulties arise. Remind yourself that you have the tools and skills to handle whatever comes your way. Trust in your ability to think critically and make sound decisions, even in the face of uncertainty. It's also helpful to practice self-compassion. When we're under pressure, we're often our own harshest critics. We might berate ourselves for feeling stressed or for not reacting perfectly in the moment. But beating yourself up only adds to the pressure. Instead, remind yourself that it's okay to feel challenged. Acknowledge the difficulty of the situation without letting it overwhelm you. By practicing self-compassion, you allow yourself the space to stay grounded and approach the problem calmly. As you continue to refine your critical thinking and decision-making skills, remember that non-reactivity is the foundation that can elevate your abilities to their full potential. By staying calm and composed, you create the mental clarity necessary to make thoughtful, deliberate decisions. You'll find that over time, this approach not only improves your problem-solving skills but also enhances your relationships, career, and overall sense of well-being. With these skills at your disposal, the possibilities for your future are vast. You can handle life's curveballs with grace, turning what might have once felt like setbacks into opportunities for growth. The confidence you've built through critical thinking and calm decision-making will carry you through even the most challenging situations. You're ready for this. Equipped with the skills of non-reactivity, mindfulness, and a calm mindset, you are prepared to face whatever life brings. Whether it's a career challenge, a personal obstacle, or a global issue, you now have the tools to engage with it thoughtfully, logically, and with an unwavering sense of calm. As you look forward, think about how these skills can continue to shape your journey. Each day, with every decision, you have the opportunity to create a future that reflects your values and aspirations. The skills you've learned here will serve as your guide, helping you to navigate the complexities of life with clarity, composure, and confidence. Copyright 2024 by AudioBooksTube. Thank you for listening. Please consider to subscribe, like, and share to help the channel grow new videos on a daily basis.